Hi everyone, this is the second lesson for mammals on classification. We've already gone through some of the basic classification groups, the ones based on reproduction. You have the monotremes, which is the oldest, and then the next two groups have the live birth, whereas the monotremes have the egg-laying reproduction. Marsupials have the pouch that the young will develop most of their time in, and the placental mammals have that placental organ that helps to facilitate the growth of the offspring within inside of the mother. And most of the mammals that we'll discuss, and most of the mammals found in North Carolina, are part of this placental group. So that's our first way of dividing up the classification groups. Again, egg-laying being the biggest group, or the earliest group within class Mammalia. Remember, it's kingdom, phylum, class, order, so we haven't even got to the orders yet. There's all these smaller divisions, suborders, infraclasses, grand orders that are found between these groups. That's one of the ways that taxonomy can be very flexible, but also very confusing. So the major orders that we would find in Mammalia, there's going to be quite a few. So here are a couple examples. Again, kingdom Animalia, because they're all animals, phylum Chordata, because they all have backbones, and class Mammalia, because they have the mammary glands, they have the fur, they have the skull bones, the other features shared amongst the mammals. So some examples of mammal orders: we have primates. Of course, that's going to include humans as well as our closest relatives, and the rest of what would be considered monkeys, New World and Old World, and even lemurs. Didelphimorphia, that's a mouthful. That's actually the marsupial order that possums would be found in. There's carnivora, so that's not always going to be including carnivorous things. There are many things in carnivora that are omnivorous, and there are many carnivorous things that aren't in the order Carnivora. For instance, carnivorous plants obviously aren't going to fit the other classification groups. We have Artiodactyla. If you remember, dactyl has to do with the feet, like we talked about with birds. This is referring to the even-toed, hooved animals like deer and elk. Chiroptera is going to include bats. Rodentia, obviously rodents. And Cingulata will be where you find the armadillos. So that's a few of them. Some others would include insectivora, defined by their small sharp teeth. Lagomorpha, which is very close to rodents, including rabbits and hares, who have similar teeth but are going to be slightly different. Whales and dolphins are part of Cetacea. We have Sirenia, which are the manatees, different from the seals and walruses. So a lot of these are based on things like feet, teeth, location, lifestyle, any number of ways of comparing and contrasting these groups. But that's not always enough. Sometimes we need to get a little more specific, and one of the ways to do that is through embryos. This is one of the ways that we discover how mammals like the dolphins and whales are related to the other guys, because we can look at stuff like their nose and see how it's a blowhole up top. In the embryo, it actually starts in the front, much like the other mammals that we see. Most of the mammals, at least the number of species, greatest is found in the order Rodentia, so rodents, and second most diversity is found in bats. And it's going to be, right up there with what's going on here in North Carolina. Lots of different rodents, lots of different bats, but we also have plenty of other interesting species too found in the carnivorans, as well as the ungulates. So when we're classifying mammals, they are Animalia chordata, class Mammalia, and that classification can be based on whether it's reproduction, the teeth, the feet, where they're found, how they how they reproduce, their evolutionary history too, genetics, embryology, all kinds of things. And the most diversity of species is found in rodents, likely because they're so successful. Anyway, hope that was interesting and that you enjoyed it, so thank you for watching.